What's going on, everyone? Daniel Rodriguez here. Time to review another movie. Today I will be reviewing the third installment into the Divergent series, which is Allegiant. This is a non-spoiler review. I'm not going to spoil nothing. I'm just going to give you the good stuff, the pros, the bad, the cons, give you my final score, tell you whether or not you should go check this out in theaters, or maybe wait for a rental, or maybe just never see this movie at all. So, real quick, I enjoyed the first Divergent movie, which, mind you, was 2 years ago. I was barely, entering high school or in middle school? I don't remember, actually. I don't remember where I was at, but I enjoyed Divergent. For some reason, I enjoyed it. And then Insurgent came out, and, I was waiting. Ooh, we gotta wait a year for the next sequel. Insurgent comes out, and I'm like, oh, it was okay. Yeah, it was okay. The story, though, interesting. Shailene Woodley is interesting. Miles Teller being a douche in every movie he's in. But going to this, I will say that this movie's better than Insurgent for me. Mind you, my reviews were different last year because I gave Insurgent a B, like an 8.6 out of 10. I was different back then a year ago. My review skills have gone, hopefully, up. Hopefully, in some people's eyes, it's gone better. So, yeah, I was kind of wrong with Insurgent, but then again, I haven't seen Divergent since it released. I haven't seen Insurgent since it released. So now with Allegiant, I'm probably never going to see this movie again, and maybe, I don't know, I probably will never see this movie again. But anyway, that's just kind of like where I walked in. I was like, I really was like, oh great, like another Divergent movie. This is a movie because another movie's going to come out next year, so it's just going to build up to that one. It's going to end on a cliffhanger. It's just going to do that thing, like the Hunger Games. Oh, first one's good. Second one is pretty good. Third one, oh, come on. Oh, now, the whole third movie is it's about the fourth movie. Now it's setting up the fourth movie. That's all. The third movie's not necessary. It's just building the fourth movie. Just put it all in one movie together instead of separating part one, part two. Sort of thing. Either way, I'm getting in too far. Ladies and gentlemen, here's my non-spoiler review for the Divergent series, Allegiant. Starting off with the good stuff, man, I gotta say Jeff Daniels is a new member into the Divergent family. I will say Jeff Daniels, he does have an interesting role. He plays a guy named David. Mind you, David's character's not really well written, but adding Jeff Daniels into the mix, he's not like, oh god, that guy sucked in this movie. No, he actually was a good part of the movie, even though his character is very predictable. I will say having Jeff Daniels was at least something new and fresh into the series. Now, this ain't spoiling anything. This is from the trailers. Of course, our team, Triss and Four and Peter, Caleb, they end up reaching outside the gates out of Chicago. Now, what's beyond those gates in the world out there, man, it was interesting to see in the way that, the practical and the wherever they filmed at and, however they use a lot of effects in there. But the world outside of Chicago and going into a different, place, that was interesting to see. It was something new instead of being Chicago, destroyed Chicago, we gotta do this, oh my god, Chicago. Nothing wrong with the actual Chicago, of course, but, the movies, it's just like destroyed buildings or climbing buildings, kissing, oh yeah, we're 70 stories high, we gotta go back down, check up on all our friends, like, you know what I mean? Like, let's, finally we went outside the walls and we saw something new and refreshing. Now, some of the gadgets in here that are new were pretty cool. Of course, these flying disc things, I really enjoyed that. That's just kind of little, cool new gadgets into the mix. Of course, they have their pulse rifles and everything, which is kind of like, we see that all the time. But some other gadgets and the little disc rounds are like shields and everything, so it works out pretty well. There is some cool choreography fighting, but nothing like, oh my god, like Daredevil or something like that. Like that's real choreography there. This, like Theo James has a few cool action scenes, and like other action scenes are basically like pew 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 pew. Pew, pew, pew. That's basically it. Those are the other action scenes, really. But there are cool little hand-to-hand combat, and that's about it for the fighting. So it's just a little hand-to-hand, and then, you could care less for because it's PG-13, so there's barely any blood. So when someone's, like, shot in the head, it's almost like shot, fall down. You know what I mean? Like, It's like there's not even a hole in the head or anything. It's, because it's PG-13, kids are going to go see it. Well, guess what? Divergent, makers, it failed at the box office. It made $29 million its first weekend, which is, and I'm not trying to hate on that. I love the first Divergent, actually. I really did enjoy it. I should probably own it. I don't know why I enjoyed it. I just did for some reason. Now, I'm not hating on the act. Like, Shailene Woodley, she's interesting. She's cool to be in here. But, and it may sound like I'm hating on the actors and the. But I'm just trying to be honest here. Yeah, there's some cool choreography fighting. But with it being PG-13, obviously I wouldn't want to see it rated R. But just the action, it could go a little bit more into the action. They really just lowered, like, the expert. I wanted it to be a little bit more better. But the action just, it failed me, honestly. The cool hand-to-hand fight, and that was about it. And then Miles Teller in here, he is the same sort of douche, whereas in like, oh Tris, let me come with you. I turn my back on you. Okay, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Turn my back on you again. Like he's predictable, his character Peter. It's just, oh, I'm good. No, I'm bad. I'm good. I'm bad. Like just back and forth. Obviously, I don't know why he's still alive in the movie. But Miles Teller, he is, I like seeing him. I think he really is a good actor. If you haven't seen Whiplash, make sure to see that movie. Whiplash is even better than all Divergent together. But Miles Teller, man, he's a really good actor, definitely. And, having him in here, he tries to be funny. He's not in this movie, but still, I like Miles Teller. And he wasn't a bad thing to the movie, but then again, he is predictable and the way it's written. But the character he plays, we'll see where it goes on from here. Now, this is a pro and a con, basically. The effects of the movie. This is like 95% CGI computer effects. There's like ships that are so computerized that it even makes Transformers look good. I mean, literally, there are a few shots where like, oh my god, that's some good effects in here, man. And then after that, it's like crappy effects. Like, really, like, they didn't even try. They're just kind of like, yeah, let's just release this. Let's put it on, like, we only have, like, 10 months to release this. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, there are some really bad effects in this movie. There's this death in the movie where, like, it's so freaking predictable the way the camera angle is. And, for one thing, the person is standing right where the person could get shot. Like, literally, maybe you should move over here instead of being right here near the ledge, like, looking at the other people. Boom, shot. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it was so predictable. Like, oh, well, I guess that actress didn't want to be in the movie or else she had other things to do, which is, like, okay, obviously. That was, and, like, they try to make it so emotional, or it's not really even emotional. They're like, no! Come on, we gotta go! Oh, body's there, like, nothing to do, just, alright, that was kind of a waste, and it was a horrible death scene, nothing there. As well as it wasn't funny. Caleb tried to be funny. Peter tried to be funny. There were jokes they were just forced jokes in the movie, and it didn't make me laugh. I didn't laugh one bit during this movie. I was bored at times. It is a slow-paced movie also, but again, they tried to, you could tell the writers were like, let's put this in, maybe the kids will laugh, and mind you, maybe your kids laugh, maybe some other kids laugh. I don't know. I only had like 5 people in the theater with me, and none of us laughed. Now, there's another storyline in this movie that's taking place in Chicago with these two forces coming at each other. It wasn't interesting, like, Chicago. And it goes back to Chicago, and it's like, I don't know what to do. We should fight back. And then the other one's like, well, they don't want to make peace with us, so we're going to go fight them and kill them. And it's like, can we just, honestly, I don't know what storyline I even want to see in this movie. It's like, they go back to it and it's like, oh my god, like this all-out war is going to happen. And then it does, it's that storyline there that's kind of like, why don't you guys just, I don't see why you just can't become friends. There's no reason to be fighting. Like, literally, the fighting is like justice and, like, why can't, I need to slap someone, man. Like, literally, in this movie, you just want to slap some of the characters and be like, stop being stupid. Just live life, seriously. There's, like, you could tell the bad guys and then the good guys, but then the good guys turn a little bad. The storyline here is a little just, it's not little, it's very messy within the Chicago storyline. As well, Theo James as Fleur, his character, the way he acted too, and I'm not a big fan of Theo James. I mean, oh, here's the pretty boy, and then he's good at action. But other than that, Theo James is just, his role, like, he's angry throughout the whole film towards Tris, and literally, he's like a douche, and then he ends up, like, he goes leaving, and, like, it's very messy with his character as well, and it's a messy film with these characters, the way they're written, and the way that, and then towards the end of the movie, it's just going to set up the next movie. Let's just set it up. Let's just set that up, and let's not worry about making just one unique movie. Instead of, let's just focus on building towards another movie. And last but not least, Ray Stevenson. I love my Ray Stevenson, man. He was, of course, Frank Castle, the Punisher, in the Punisher Warzone. He's in this movie for one scene. One scene! And it's been a year since I've seen Insurgent, so I don't remember when Ray Stevenson was even... I don't know where he was at the end of the movie. And, like, all of a sudden, Ray Stevenson, hey! Oh, look what you did to the character. Yeah, you know what? Just get at it. Like, you know, let me just walk out. Like, the way they did Ray Stevenson in this movie, man, he deserves better. He needs to be in some more films. Last movie I saw him in was The Transporter, which was, mind you, not a very good film. But Ray Stevenson, you know, he was pretty good in the movie. He's funny, you know, he's a good actor. I want to see him, like, probably in The Expendables, but I doubt he'd ever be in one of those movies. He's just not in that clique with Sylvester Stallone and everything. But, you know, just what they did to his character, and, like, it was like, he's in one, like, really? You guys, you. Oh, man. Anyway, I'm going to end up giving this movie a 6.2 out of a 10. I thought it was just, I enjoyed the movie better than Insurgent. I would say it was okay, more or less, it's mediocre. And as the great words of, what was his name, Joe from Mad Max, I don't remember, Immortan Joe, mediocre. That's what this movie is, basically. So, mediocre all over it. Is it a movie worth watching? If you like the Divergent series, as I wanted to go see this movie because I enjoyed the first one, I wasn't a big fan of the second one. It was alright. But this is better than Insurgent. It's mediocre. It's okay. It's not great, or it's not really that good, but it's not that bad. It is watchable. But not in theaters, not in IMAX, none of that stuff. Anyway, it's not even playing in IMAX anymore because my Batman v Superman is in IMAX, so it took over, thank God. Now, if you want to, it's a rental. It's a rental. If you like Divergent, I'm assuming you've already seen it in the theaters. But if you haven't, you don't need to watch this. Like, this ain't you could go through life without watching this movie. This movie's nothing special. It's not a groundbreaking film experience. It's just another young adult book. And if you read the books and you enjoyed the books, I can't tell you whether it's different from the book and film. If you're a fan of Divergent, basically, see the movie. If you're not, no need to even worry about the Divergent series because it's going to be gone by next year with the last movie. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope all of you enjoyed. If you really enjoyed the review, hit that like button. Make sure to share. I would really appreciate that. And if you want to support the channel, subscribe. Thank you. Again, my next review is coming up is Miracles from Heaven, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and My Big Fat Greek Wedding Dose. Until next time, I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye-bye.